Day 5, November 3rd, 2020. I woke up this morning feeling good. This kind of morning where the air seems a little clearer and the day feels like it's on your side. I had breakfast, then took the dogs out for a walk. That small rhythm, the leash in my hand, the quiet streets, the steady steps, it settled me. It's amazing how a simple routine can make everything else feel possible. At school, the day had a steady structure. The first block was chemistry, and we had a quiz. Quizzes are always a little nerve-wracking, but they're also honest checkpoints. They show you what's stuck and what needs more work. The second block was math. We finished a lesson and did some studying for the next quiz. The third block was more relaxed. We used it to review physics material for tomorrow's test. And in the final block, we started an introduction to HTML. Little by little, the day stitched itself together. Practice, review, and a new technical seed planted. Thinking back to yesterday, I kept circling the same lessons. Accept your faults, invest in what you love, and build community. There's a quiet power in not just wanting something, but in doing the work that makes it real. Don't justify your dreams, execute them. And stop looking for acceptance in others. That search will never fill the space that doing the work fills. Use your time because it will never come back. In class today, I noticed something important about how I learn. Memorizing and reading doesn't stick for me the way doing does. When I try problems, when I make mistakes and then go back to the notes to see what I did wrong, that's where the learning actually happens. Doing is the method. So now my study plan is simple. Attempt first, correct second, and repeat. It's a small change in approach, but it makes studying feel active instead of passive. That same approach applies to game development. If I want to get better, I need to build things, even small prototypes, even ugly ones. Ship something imperfect, learn from it, then iterate. The classroom rhythm, lesson, practice, review is a template I can use for my craft. There is also a sense of urgency that sits under everything I'm trying to do. Time is finite. Every hour I spent drifting is an hour I can't get back. That doesn't mean I can't rest, but it does mean I need to be intentional about how I spend my energy. Small habits, morning walks, short focused study sessions, 1 hour of dev work compounds into real progress. Today felt like a day where the small things added up. I finished a study task, I learned a new technical concept in HTML, and I practiced the habit of doing rather than just rereading. I also reminded myself of the bigger picture. Build community, respect the customer, and create options and variety in the games I make. Variety gives players freedom. Freedom makes the game alive. If I had to name one practical change I'll keep from today, it's this. Start with action. Try the problem, try the prototype. If it breaks, fix it. If it works, iterate. That loop, attempt, learn, improve is the engine I want to run on. Tonight, I'll sleep with the quiet satisfaction of a day that moved me forward. Not a huge leap, but a steady step. Tomorrow, I'll wake up and do it again. Walk the dog, show up to class, practice by doing, and chip away at the things that matter. Small habits repeated become the life I want. Day 5, everyone. Okay, so it's another short entry, just like the last day, but this one there's actually something I do want to talk about, so that's why I have my afterthoughts here. Okay, so in day 5, I learned about studying, technique of studying, and really this technique of learning with anything you do in life, right? Because the way I was learning before this day was I would just do it the same way I would do in school. I would just copy, I would just find like something that I need to learn, write it down, and then like just copy what it says, like what thing I'm learning, like just copying it, like just basically taking notes, solely taking notes. And I find that it doesn't work. Like you can retain the information from it, but you're not going to get everything from just writing notes down. There's, at least for me, there's a lot more to learning than just information. information can be formatted in different ways. It's not just words or numbers that you just put down. There's emotion. There's emotional. What do you call this? There's emotional connection tied to learning. What your mood reflects when you're learning. There's the physical aspect of learning, right? You need to learn what you need to do with your hands, with your body. And then there's creative learning, where you use the imagination of your mind to articulate the ideas and thoughts. These type of information cannot be or well, not really the type of information, but like when it comes to like with learning, right? It's if you just use one type of format, I don't actually know the real term for this, but if you just stick with just one way of learning, which is memorizing and using notes, you're limiting yourself to grasping the concept fully, right? Ideally, you would want to learn with as many ways as possible. There's a reason why, because we have these senses with us as people. We can hear, touch, smell, scent, and what some people call sixth sense, I just call it feeling. These things can be leveraged in your learning. It's not just seeing, right? Notes, for me, I see it as just seeing and maybe partially doing, because when you're writing the notes down, your body's processing the writing down with the words, but really it's mostly just seeing, and just sticking to just one or a couple of your senses to learn what you're doing, you're not going to get the most out of it, and you're probably not going to comprehend majority of what you're actually learning at that time. There's a reason why when it comes to testing, for most cases, is that when you're doing just the learning, right, you feel like you got it, you do it, and then when it comes to testing and you actually try and do it, you get less than what you usually get when you're just doing the assignments or just learning in general. And that's partially the reason why. It's because when you're learning, you're only comprehending a portion of the actual subject that you're trying to understand. And because of that, when you're using just one senses, which is when it comes to notes, it's basically just seeing, because you're reading it and then you're just writing it down, copying word verbatim what you just read. So just basically copying from the words that you read to now, and then putting it down on like the notes or wherever you're writing down. That's basically just seeing. And with just seeing, you're limiting yourself so much, because there's other learning styles you can add that can help you comprehend the material even further. Like, let's say you just stick with just seeing, right? Seeing, okay, you got the entire subject, what you need to learn, and you do it. Like, you read the notes, you understand this concept, and then you write it down for reference later. Okay, now can you really understand what the subject is just based off that? I don't think so. Honestly, like maybe for maybe there's like a minority who can do it just from just one style of learning, but for the majority, it's gonna take more than that. You're gonna need to practice doing problems, which is this is where the creative approach comes in, where you need to do problems and solve different cases with using that concept. And there's also the art of doing, where you need to maybe the concept can be used in practice, where you can actually apply it in real life in some way that replicates what the concept is describing, and that can be another way of comprehending material. I'm not saying that notes is a bad thing. I'm just saying that it shouldn't be the only thing that you're doing to study. Not just in school, but with anything you're doing in life when it comes to learning. It should be more than just one learning style, or at least be open to doing open yourself to more. Yeah, just open yourself to more than just one style in general, because if you stick to one style of just learning, it's gonna struggle. Even in your most favorite subjects or topics, you're gonna lead to burnout, or you're going to get to like a stalemate where you're unsure, or you're like stuck. You're basically just living yourself. You're putting yourself with a weight that you don't need to put yourself in. And I'm just saying, right? Just try other things other than just taking notes and writing down and just reading, because that's the mistake I made during this time. And ever since then, I've started to try and do different approaches, which now I will admit, right, right, oh, my English is all over the place, but yeah, just be open to it. And because for now, like for me now, it's like I still take notes, right? But I'm also doing other things that I'm using aside from, like, on top of the notes that can help me understand any subject that I'm trying to learn, not just school, but with other things. So yeah, all I'm saying is just be open to what other type of styles of learning you can do. You can look it up. I'm sure there's some. Do a quick search on the internet, or ask your friends what they do to study, because everyone has their own way of studying. So just whatever it is that you are doing and studying, just be open to it, especially if you're struggling with studying now and you're just doing the classic reading and doing notes, doing problems or questions that apply to the concept is a good one. And usually school does encourage that, but there's more ways beyond that you can also do, so you can get that comprehension up that you're learning to beyond just whatever it is that you're trying to do. So yeah, so that's my thoughts for day 5. It's been going here, like, my mind is jumbled around, up, down, whatever, I don't know. So I'm going to cut a lot of it down, and yeah, this is just what I think about day 5, and hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.